let you all know that Don Mattingly, who has a mutual option in his contract, we have exercised our portion of his contract, and he has told us that he wants to be back. So he will be back for 2022.
What went into the decision now? I know Derek, at least the last few years, is always at the end of the year we'll evaluate, make decisions. What made you guys decide to spring and do it now?
Right. There was a deadline in the contract by which we had to make our feelings known. And so that was coming up here real soon. So we just decided to make sure we got it done, and a little bit early, but nonetheless, just wanted to make sure we told you guys.
What was the conversation like, and what was Donnie's reaction when you said, hey, we want you back next year?
I think Don was very pleased. I mean, obviously, we've had a great run here in terms of, last year and him winning National League Manager of the Year. We have a good club out there in terms of the players that we've got and the players that we have coming through the system. I think Donnie has been a consistent force. He's been stable here, and in terms of what our vision is and what our mission is, Donnie's always been on board and been so very positive with those young players.
Speak to the continuity as well. That's something this franchise hasn't had a lot of in terms of the management position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and we thought that was an important factor. Don has seen a lot of things in his time here. But again, I think his being on board with the vision, and for us, him being a consistent piece and knowing a lot of these players and knowing our system, and having seen a lot of these kids come up, particularly in Major League Spring Training, we're all positives, to bringing Don back.
Well, I know you've had a lot of tough luck in 2021 as well. I mean, he's had to weather through quite a few storms with the injury situation. And I guess one of the things that is impressing is the fact that his level of calmness through all that adversity demonstrates for the whole club in itself.
You think losing half your lineup and 2/5 of your rotation is
Right.
tough circumstances?
Yeah.
He really has, and obviously a lot of injuries this year.
Right.
But one of the great characteristics of a manager for me personally is you never really can tell whether they've won or lost a game. And that consistency and that comfort, that comfortability, I think helps players to clear their minds and know that tomorrow's a new day. I think that he really brings that to the table.
I was trying to put it lightly.
You've had past history with Don at previous stops. Just how much is that, knowing that you've had that experience, and you've seen that demeanor from him before? How much does that help?
Yeah, that's Donnie's essence. That is who he is. And when I was in LA and we had young players like Matt Kemp and Chad Billingsley and Russell Martin, James Loney and Andre Ethier, those guys coming up, I just saw the same consistency and the same belief in who they are as players as well as who they are as people. In the way that Donnie was just so positive with them and always selfless, I think, in his actions, and always wanted to do the right thing with regards to the player as well as the organization. And I think those two things sometimes are in conflict, but Donnie always does a great job of balancing those.
So I guess obviously the option next year and then reevaluate at some point.
Yeah.
Kim, I find it ironic that you're making this announcement when you're playing the Los Angeles Dodgers, a team that he actually managed too, though. So.
Yeah. I think that was all coincidental. But Donnie's got history with the Dodgers, as do I. I think what's emblematic and symbolic is if you look at the way that we have played the last several days against the world champs and his alma mater. I think what you have to recognize and acknowledge and understand is that Donnie is the same guy, whether we're winning, whether we're losing, and his philosophies reign, and he tries to get each of those guys to be consistent on an everyday basis. And you saw, Monday night when we played, that was the type of game I think that we all envisioned coming out of spring training. We were running, we were hitting and running, who are doing all the little things that you do to win ball games.
Can you talk about this series? Does it change at all the way you're going to approach the MLB trade deadline?
No.
But
In terms of the deadline, as I said the other day, we're gonna do deals. If we do any deals, we're gonna do deals that make sense for us, for the long term as well as the short term. What I can tell you is, again, you look at this team the last several days. This is what we thought we had, and we just need to do it on an everyday basis. And sometimes you'll win and sometimes you'll lose. But nonetheless, when you see it out there, it's pretty darn exciting. And then you have Eliezer Hernandez coming back, you have Brian Anderson coming back, right? And all those, those guys, they add to what we've got going right now.
so you mentioned at the beginning the deadline on Don's contract, but how important it is for you as a front office member and for him as well to get this out of the way at this moment of the season?
Yeah, no, I think it makes a lot of sense to tell you guys now. I don't want any guessing, later on in the year. And I think that, again, what was accomplished last year and what we still hope to accomplish this year, are very indicative and representative of the way we feel about Don.
Well, when he spoke with us earlier in the week, the division that you're in, you guys are very much in a competitive situation where it's not like a lot of teams have taken off. You really are in this thick of these things.
Yeah, no, we really are. And, I will say, the one thing about our division that's been interesting and probably not necessarily the way many anticipated to go is you don't have a huge, clear front runner. You don't have someone that's out there ahead by 10, 12 games at this point. We saw the Washington Nationals, prior to a week ago, go about 15-4. They moved up from 8.5 in the standings to 2. So, and the fact that we still have, 55% of our remaining games against division rivals. We personally have, I think, 13 against the Mets, maybe 9 against the Phillies, and 6 against Atlanta. I think those all bode well for us if we keep up this caliber of play, to just be fighting every day and be in those games and hopefully convert some of those one-run games that we've seen this year.
Good. One last one.
All right, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Danny. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but the rest of the coaching staff, I know it's still early, but to make that decision for who's going to stay and who doesn't.
Right.
Are you ready or?
I think on the coaching staff, we'll let that wait. Donnie's was important to do, a lot because of the deadline. But I think on the coaching staff, we'll just wait.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all.
Good game.